So Dr. Amy, Jo, and I visited with 3 shelters. We started in Brownsville. They were very, very overcrowded there. Lots and lots of dogs that we had to pick from. Then we went to Mission. Mission is an animal shelter facility that literally is in the middle of a junkyard. Picked up only 4 and then made our way over to Palm Valley, walked through those kennels, and then got out of there. So we ended up, I believe, with 27, and there are more coming in today, and there will be more trickling in throughout the week. My goal is to save every single dog in in all of the shelters. I don't want to leave any of them behind, and maybe one day I'll have semi-trucks going down there and we'll clean the place out. But in real life, the reality is that only so many of them I have room for here that I can take care of properly. And when I go through these kennels, I have to pick dogs that I know people will want to adopt. If I let my heart do the picking, my entire program will bottleneck. So it's a constant struggle every single day between my head and my heart.
Intake day is probably the most difficult day we have here. You have 10 to 30 new dogs coming in at once, and you don't know how they're going to act with each other. And the hardest part is trying to get them into groups, because you have aggressive dogs and you have to sit there and watch them, and you try to avoid a fight at all costs. That's one of the things you really have to worry about, is their safety.
We have to make sure that they're put in groups based on age, size, sex, and personality. So there's a little bit of musical chairs/dogs for the first week after they come in. Everybody has to have flea and tick medication, heartworm medication. Everyone has to be weighed, given dewormer. My mangy, crusty puppies all have to have baths. So it is very, very hectic for the first week after we get this new group in. Most of them come in vaccine naive, and that means we have to assume they had never had any vaccines until the day they arrived in that shelter. So over the next week or 2, we start seeing illness break out, and this is a repetitive cycle. We go through this every month. So we're watching everybody very closely, and Sydney is looking at everyone's noses and eyes and making sure if anybody is showing any sign of illness that they're pulled out of their group immediately, put into the sick room, and we make sure that we start treatment for them after our vet looks at them. So the next couple weeks is when illness starts coming out, and then we have a certain amount of time to get them healthy and ready for adoption. This trip was hard because a lot of the dogs, again, a lot of the shelters are overcrowded like they always are. But there were some dogs this time that I was really excited to pick up, like Kelly. Kelly was at our first stop in Brownsville, and they first made me aware of her last week. She came in with an embedded collar and an embedded rope. Just be really careful about the under part of her neck. We'll weigh her and then we'll get her set up and going. She's precious.
She looks so sweet.
I know. Dr. Amy Jo said to keep her on antibiotics a couple more days after she saw this cut under here, but that thing was cutting her neck off. I mean, that is unbelievable. I was so excited to meet you. I just was. So another one I noticed is Meatball. Meatball is like he's a bulldog, and so. But bless his little heart. When we saw him, the veterinarian I was with, Dr. Amy Jo, she said, "Oh, Tracy," she says, "I could fix that one up." But he has something going on with his eyes. He has a toe that needs to be removed. It's very, very, very infected. And you could just tell this dog has been maybe in somebody's backyard. They just didn't care about him. Dr. Amy Jo said she's going to take the toe off at the same time she neuters him. But we have him on antibiotics. He's going to be given a good bath, hydrotherapy on that toe, and I'm going to get it all cleaned out. Meatball. I know. Meatball, can I give you a smooch? I know. He's got a squishy face. And then there was a lot of crusty puppies I picked up. I love helping dogs with mange. Mange is one of those things that is so easy with the medications we have today to clear it up. One dose, they're done. So a lot of dogs that people might look at and say, hey, that dog needs to be euthanized because it doesn't have any hair. I like helping dogs like that. So I did pick up a lot of crusty puppies. One's a little pit bull puppy, and I named her Christina after the gal that took care of her in the Brownsville shelter. And I had meant to take her when I went down there. And then when I left the shelter, Dr. Amy Jo goes, "Hey, where's that little pit bull puppy?" I said, "Oh my gosh, I forgot her. I forgot you."
I was like, we forgot the crusty pit bull puppy.
We went all the way back and got her. So that's Christina, and Christina does have a very bad case of mange, so she'll be good as new soon. Sammy. Sammy's from the Brownsville shelter, and the first time I met him, he had an embedded collar in his neck. And it was a really, really deep wound. And so when he first arrived, of course, we had to take care of him very carefully because of the wound on his neck. But we slowly watched him heal, and just he's just a great dog inside and out. So real good personality, and he's also getting to go home. So Nellie's been with me a long time. She's deaf, and we call her the sheriff around here because she's really like a police officer. She's a cattle dog, so she herds all the dogs. If anybody is bickering, she'll go over there and tell them, "No, you don't do that." She's really the sheriff. We noticed immediately that she was not hearing well, so she'd be laying down, and even if you like clapped your hands or made a loud noise, didn't hear. So we had to look for a special home for her. There's not a lot of people that want to adopt a dog with special needs, and Nellie has special needs, and she's found her place in the world and is going home. So Lydia is another special needs dog. I don't think Lydia had ever been touched by a human, but when she got here, she went in the back. We couldn't find her for 3 days. She just disappeared. She's certainly not going to be that tail wagging dog that likes to meet everybody and say hello, but she's able to live in a home, so she's getting an opportunity to have a home now. Miss Chicory is the one that Carrie and I are having the hardest time right now because she's so scared. She came in, I don't think she'd ever been handled before by people either. She also came in with a broken back hip, so she had no use of her leg. We did go ahead and have surgery performed on her leg, so now she's able to use her leg, so that is good. But it took us 6 months to get that dog to even allow us to handle her, and we've watched her go from feral to kisses, tail wags. She loves treats. When she sees Carrie and I, her face lights up. Oh, Peg. Yeah, that one's probably gonna make me cry. So she came in with a really bad broken back leg. It was so deformed that my vet couldn't even fix it. She said, "I'm sorry, I have to remove the leg." It was really infected. There were like maggots in the leg. She just has one of those spirits that as badly as she was hurt, she wagged her tail, she loved everybody. And then even after we had her leg amputated, I really think Peg thought she had moved to a 5-star hotel when she came here. She was living on the streets, very emaciated and injured, but just loves everybody, loves life. So she looks only for the best in everybody. So she's going to a home that have 2 of our other dogs. So she's going to a really good place. So I'm just happy for her.
The Departure Day was here. Everyone is excited and letting the dogs out to go potty and getting them back into their rooms. And then we kind of take inventory, make sure everyone's where they should be. I go off of a list, room by room, and we just start loading them up on the trailer to get ready to go. It is stressful just because you're dealing with live animals and anything could go wrong at any given time. Sometimes, I'll be carrying a dog out to put in the trailer and notice it has snotty nose or a cough, and so then they can't go. And, that's a last minute thing that it's hard because you don't have to call the adopter and tell them.
Wow, this has been the most unique group of dogs, I think, in 85 transports that we've ever rolled out of this place with, because we have 10 what I would call project dogs on board. So of the 40, there's a fourth of them that had special something going on. So this has just been a really unique transport. In all our years doing this, I don't think I've ever had this many project dogs.
So we brought him back to the vet clinic. I took the big growth off of his toe, and then we actually diagnosed him with what's called dry eye. It's also known as KCS. That's an abbreviation for it. So we started him on medicine for dry eye, and then we started on medicine for his yucky skin. And he's come a long way. His eyes have really cleared up. He can see better now. When we got him, he was bumping into walls, and he couldn't tell where he was going. Now he's doing great. Every bulldog sounds like this, so this is not abnormal. So he is going on the shipment tomorrow to Wisconsin. He already has a new home.
That's a good boy. And he'll have everybody's gonna have their own crates because we have 40 dogs going and 82 boxes. This transport is to Madison, Wisconsin, and we've done this probably 10 or 11 times. Madison used to be a really good market for us. This one's a little smaller with 40 dogs. We'll be in Joplin, Missouri, about 675 miles tonight away from San Antonio. We'll overnight. And then tomorrow we'll get up into Wisconsin, probably around 10 or 11 at night, do the same thing. And then we only have about 2.5 hour drive into Madison, Wisconsin in the morning. And that actually works really well. Gives us some time to potty in the morning, take a shower before we go, straighten up a little bit. And then it's a nice, easy drive in. And that's the thing. On Saturday, I try to plan a shorter trip so that we're a little more relaxed, have a little bit more energy, a little more rested. And then once we roll into Madison, it just, poof, it goes. A lot of tears, a lot of emotion, and they're ready to go. So we better be ready to go. That's the way that works. This trip to Madison, I'm taking both of my daughters, Jenna and Sarah. They've done a ton of trips with me. Very important because everything is choreographed from the minute we leave here to when we get there. And if you have people who have experience, I don't have to tell them what to do. I don't have to tell them how to do it. We literally get off of that truck, walk into that trailer, and everybody does what they're supposed to do. Ready to rock on the next episode of Dog's Journey Home.
I'm gonna cry.
But she's a pretty
Crying's
girl,
okay.
by the way.
She's beautiful.
She's a pretty dog.